Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavato Sahana Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Wish you all a happy Navaratri beginning.
Yeah. Happy Dashara, Guruji.
Dashara. Yes, thank you. एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्याम बंध पुंस समागतः याभ्यां विमोहितो देहं मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम्. So, we are discussing how these two powers, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, both of them together become bondage in the context of an individual. As I said, God has created a beautiful world, and every object in the world is wonderful and enjoyable. As long as you enjoy them dispassionately, there is no problem. There is no bondage. But the moment I develop either raga or dvesha for the objects, bondage creeps in. And I get caught in all types of emotional turmoil. So the Acharya says, Etabhyam eva shaktibhyam. Because of these two powers conspiring. Which are the two powers? Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Bandha pumsa samagataha. Pumsaha bandha, the bondage of human being, the human bondage. Human beings we are specifically mentioning because animals do not have a well-developed intellect. Therefore, they do not have that problem. They also do not have a well-developed free will also. It is only in the case of human beings, bandha samagataha, that samsara or bondage comes, arrives. And how does this bondage express itself? Yabhyam. Because of these two powers, vimohitaha, this human being is deluded right from birth. In fact, in our shastras, it is the delusion which is told as the cause for bondage. And the delusion which is arising out of wrong knowledge can be got rid of by the right knowledge. Once the right knowledge comes, delusion goes. And along with delusion, samsara bondage also goes. That is the way the Shastra approaches this whole thing. Even in Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Sarva Bhutani Sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. So all human beings are deluded right from birth because of these two forces. And this delusion causes what? Deham atmanam matva ayam brahmati. Deham atmanam matva, mistaking the body as himself, considering the body as his own self. The immortal has been converted into mortal. The infinite has been converted into finite. Ananda has been converted into dukkham. Therefore, deham atmanam matva, mistaking the body. And when I say body, all three bodies. Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. Mistaking all three of them as Atma, the self, I am Brahmati. This human being wanders about, knocks about, goes around earning, more earning, acquiring, traveling. Endlessly he continues. He actually at no point in time is very clear about what he wants. And this is how bondage has been caused by the avarana and vikshepa shakti. With this, Acharya answers the question number 2 of the student and fourth question in our discussion. Katham esha agataha. Esha, as I said, refers to bondage. So how the bondage has come, that has been answered. So totally 4 questions have been answered. You should all keep a track. How many questions have been answered? Total 7 questions, 4 have been answered. So it is very important for us to know that the whole problem is an intellectual problem. Even though we may say or we may feel that it falls within the spiritual domain, it is not a problem regarding the spirit. The problem is in the intellect. Because of ignorance and misconception, both of them belong to the intellect. And as I said, the problem of ignorance can be solved only through knowledge, not by any other means. And that is why scriptural studies become important, because this knowledge is not available elsewhere. A physics book or a chemistry book or a maths book or economics, history book will not give you this knowledge. One has to come to scriptures. Only the scriptures, they have contained this unique knowledge. Unfortunately, these days, the scriptural study is hardly emphasized, either at the family level or at the social level. I've seen many people, some of them who are Hindus, whenever they get an opportunity, they criticize the scriptural study as merely intellectual exercise and ridicule it. They will ask, where is the scientific proof for what all the scriptures are saying? They are so much bought into the Western philosophy, Western thought process. They have no value for our own culture and our own heritage. It's very unfortunate. Many of them do not have absolutely any idea about what Veda is all about. They feel that Veda contains some mantras designed by Brahmins for their livelihood. Veda, the word Veda itself means knowledge. And knowledge, how you can get? Only through scriptural study. Bhagavad Gita must be studied. No doubt, karma yoga has to be followed. Upasana has to be followed. All that is there, meditation and all is important. And Ashtanga Yoga is important. But regular study of Gita must be undertaken because Gita is a guiding factor from a scriptural angle. And that's why we find that people who have no scriptural knowledge, they have misplaced desires. They talk of social service, they talk of meditation, they talk of Kundalini, etc. All things are talked about. But very rarely they talk about consistent and systematic scriptural study. And the sad part is that the Upanayanam Samskara, which of course again is only few people are actually taking it seriously and following it, at least conducting the samskara. That Upanayanam Samskara is supposed to be the occasion marking the beginning of scriptural studies under a guru. This samskara marks the beginning of the journey of the boy from Tamo Guna Pradhana to Rajo Guna Pradhana. Lifestyle change it brings in. Therefore, he is expected to get up early in the morning, purify his body by taking bath, and start the purification process of the mind by performing Sandhya Vandanam, etc. Then learn the scriptures. We have to just sit back and reflect whether all these things are happening today. Today, this sacred samskara, which has to be performed with solemnity, has been reduced to a mere social event, with the families spending lakhs without any idea of the purpose of the samskara. It is all just pomp and show without any idea of scriptural studies. Even, we have been studying Vivekachudamani. Look at these verses. The knowledge of who am I is being imparted in a systematic manner, analyzing every aspect of our personality, both at physical and metaphysical level, to address the problem of grief and sorrow. This problem is afflicting us birth after birth after birth. Of course, at this stage, the analysis is not fully complete, but the knowledge that we are gaining is unique and unlike any other knowledge that we have gained in our life. And this knowledge, which is a permanent knowledge and which alone can reveal the secret of being permanently happy in our life, we can get it only from the scriptures. Even the scriptures of other religions do not come anywhere near to what our scriptures have to offer. No doubt, there are many sadhanas which are important, which are required. But scriptural study must go on simultaneously, especially the study of the Prakarana Granthas, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, etc., culminating finally in the study of Brahma Sutra, all under the guidance of a traditional guru. And the importance of their study will become clear only when we understand these verses. Okay, let us come back to the topic. It is very easy in these talks to go off the track. Anyhow, so as we have seen, the word bandha is used in different meanings in different contexts, keeping all these stages in mind. Therefore, till now, we can actually say that we can talk about bondage or 4 layers of bondage. What are they? The original cause of bondage or bandha is self-ignorance, which is the first layer. The consequence of this self-misconception or this stage, the concept of the consequence of the stage of self-ignorance is self-misconception. That is the second layer of bondage. So ajnanam is the first layer and adhyasa is the second layer. What is adhyasa? Taking something else for something, superimposing something on something. That is adhyasa. And both these two layers are intellectual layers because both are intellectual problems. Then the third layer is emotional layer that is activated by the Vikshepa Shakti. Varieties of emotional turmoil like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, etc. All these emotional problems are generally called what? Tapatrayam. So this is the third layer. The emotional layer of samsara. And there is a fourth one, which is not mentioned here, but often mentioned in the scriptures, is the cycle of birth and death. So these are the four layers. So the word samsara, samyak sarati, samsara, traveling from one physical body to another, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, cycle of births and deaths. Continuously moving from body to body is the literal meaning of the word samsara. So, ajnanam, adhyasa hai, tatparyam and punarjanma. Self-ignorance, self-misconception, emotional turmoil and rebirth and death, all these four layers put together is called bondage or bandha. So according to the context, we can refer to any one of these. And all these four are caused by two powers of avidya or maya, avarana shakti and vikshepa shakti. Now Shankaracharya enters the topic number 5. So we have seen how the bondage comes in, what causes the bondage. Now the question is taking up is katham pratishta asya. How does this samsara, these four layers, persist in life of a jiva? In fact, all jivas. Because the problem of samsara is not unique to human beings alone. It afflicts all jivas. The only difference is that in the human body alone, we can understand this problem and discover the solution. So how does samsara persist in the life of a jiva? We will see verse number 43. Bijam samspriti bhumi jasya tutamo dehatmadhirankurah ragha pallava mambu karma tuvapuhu skando savashakikaha agranindriya samhatischa vishayah pushpani dukkham phalam nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidham bhoktatra jiva khagah. Very musical sloka, very nice sloka. Of course, lot of words are there. It is in 4 stanzas, 4 lines rather. So we'll see the Anvaya. Samsmriti bhumi jasya bijam tu tamaha ankurah dehatmadihi ragah pallavam Karmatu ambuhu, Skandaha vapuhu, Shakikaha asavaha, Agrani indriya samhatihi, Pushpani vishayaha, Phalam nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidam, Dukkam atra bhokta khagaha jivaha. Very nice, beautiful slogan. Samsmriti bhumi jasya. For the tree of samsara, bijam, the seed, tu indeed, tamaha, ignorance, ankuraha, the sprout, dehatmadihi, the sense of I in the physical body, ragaha, desire, pallavam, the foliage, the leaves, karma, actions, tu indeed, ambu, water, skandaha, the trunk, vapuhu, the body, shakikaha, the branches, asavaha, the pranas, agrani, the twigs, indriya samhatihi, aggregate of the sense organs and organs of action, pushpani, the flowers, vishayaha, the sense objects, phalam, the fruit, nana karma samudbhavam, born as a result of the varieties of action, bahuvidam, different types, dukkham, sorrow, atra, here, bhokta, the enjoyer, kagaha, bird, jivaha, jiva. So the meaning of this whole sloka, simple meaning is, for the tree of samsara, ignorance is indeed the seed. The sense of I in the physical body is the sprout. The desires are the foliage. Actions are waters. Body is the trunk. The pranas are the branches. The aggregate of the sense organs and the organs of action are the twigs. The sense objects are flowers. The fruits are different types of sorrow born of varieties of action. Here the jiva is the enjoying bird. Highly poetic, imaginative on the part of Adi Shankara. So, katam asya bandhasya pratishtita. Pratishtita in this context means persistence or continuity. How does this bondage sustain itself for such a long time? And this question arises because samsara is supposed to be anadi, beginningless, which means it has survived for several creations, not just several births. Several creations it has sustained. According to, of course, our culture, Hinduism, creation itself is a cyclical process. The present creation will end, leading to another Srishti. Before the current cosmos, there was another cosmos. So creation or Srishti itself has been repeating from beginningless times. And samsara has survived several Srishtis. So I have gone through infinite number of bodies, insect body, animal body, plant body, divine bodies, even human bodies. Human body is not the first one. I have had countless number of human bodies, which means in and through all these lives, my samsara has continued. So how does it manage to continue? So here Acharya is explaining the sustaining nature of samsara by comparing a samsara or a jiva's life to a vriksha or a tree. In fact, tree comparison is very, very common in our scriptures. Originally in Kathopanishad, there is a mantra which starts as Urdhva Mulo Vakshakaha Yesho Vashvat Satta Sanatanaha. There is a comparison to a tree. And this mantra is borrowed into Bhagavad Gita also by Krishna in the 15th chapter. Udvamulamadash ashwattam prahuravyayam. As I said, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna, or I would put it Veda Vyasa, has borrowed lot of vocabulary, sentence construction, etc. from the Upanishads. And Kathopanishad is one of the most important one from where Bhagavad Gita has borrowed. So here also a similar comparison is made, even though it is not exactly as in the Upanishad or the Bhagavad Gita, but Adi Shankara uses his imaginative faculty to present a different comparison. So just as from a seed a tree comes, it grows gradually, develops a huge trunk with so many branches, secondary branches, twigs and leaves, etc. Then flowers come, fruit come, again seeds come. And by the time the tree dies, it has produced a innumerable number of seeds, dispersed them far and wide, thereby ensuring that even after the tree is gone, its species survives. Thus, a tree becomes a living series. Every tree survives in the form of its seeds. Similarly, every jiva survives and is born again. Therefore, he makes a comparison to a tree. And in this comparison, he picks up 10 common factors or features to explain this, the comparison between tree and samsara. And this is what we will be seeing in this sloka. Samsmriti bhumi jasya. Bhumi jaha means a tree. Again, the beauty of Sanskrit language, that which is born of the earth, born out of the earth. Bhumi jaha. Bhumi means earth, jaha means born out of. So Bhumi jaha means a jiva which originates from the earth. What is that? The tree jiva, which is also a type of jiva which originates from a seed. And here, what type of seed are we talking about? Samsmriti bhumi jasya. Samsmriti means samsaraha. So, first comparison, then he talks about other features. We will see them one by one. He says, for this tree, the seed, bijam tu tamaha. So, this is the first common feature between tree and a jiva. A seed is there for the tree. For a samsara tree also, there is an original seed. And what is that? Tamaha. Here, tamaha means ignorance. Not any ignorance, but self-ignorance. And we have seen that, ignorance is an expression of tamoguna. And therefore, ignorance itself is called tamaha. Tamaha karyatvat tamahi iti uchyate. And we have also seen self-ignorance is caused by avarana shakti of tamoguna. In short, the mula avidya is the seed. Now, this is a new term you are hearing, mula avidya. In fact, in scriptures, this fundamental ignorance is called mula avidya. Just one more terminology you add to your vocabulary. Fundamental ignorance, mula avidya. Only, of course, difference is the seeds of the tree, we see them being produced from the tree. But the seed of the samsara, this mula avidya, is not produced. It has been there from beginningless times. We don't know its origin. And that is why the very jiva is also anadi. So this is comparison 1. Samspriti bhumijasya bijam tu tamaha, which is self-ignorance is the seed for the samsara. Then dehatmadihi ankuraha. Ankuraha means sprout. The sprout originating from the seed is called here dehatmadhihi. The identification with the body, claiming that I am an individual living being. The individualization, the emergence of ahankara, the I notion, jivatma bhavaha, is here called dehatma dihi. So here dihi means the notion. Deha atma means the body alone is myself. So the notion that aham deham asmi, not aham brahmasmi, aham deham asmi, of course within inverted commas. You must understand. Such a notion is the sprout. And that is why a jnani never identifies with his body, mind, sense complex. He never perpetuates samsara. And he gets first jivan mukti and then videha mukti. Whereas a samsari claims, I am an individual living being. So dehatma dihi ankuraha. The sprout is this identification with the body, mind, sense complex. Comparison number 2. Then the third comparison is ragaha pallavam. Pallavam means the emergence of tender leaves of the tree, or you can say shoots. That's the third stage. So after sprouting, the next stage is appearance of tender leaves, called pallavam or pallavaha. Both genders are there, masculine as well as neuter gender. Ragaha. So once I identify with the body, once I have gained that sense of limitation, I feel apurnaha, incomplete. Therefore, I want to remove my apurnatvam, the inadequacy or incompleteness. A demanding, wanting mind starts asking for things, which is called ragaha, or we can say kamaha also. Even as a baby, I ask for varieties of playthings. The baby sees the neighbor's kid play with some of them. Therefore, it also wants them. It wants the teddy bear. It wants the Barbie doll. It wants the battery train. So even as a baby, all these desires are there. So raga had desire, thoughts which generate desires, endless desires. Later on, of course, there is a desire for bigger things, relationships, family life, children, grandchildren, car, house, etc. So endless desires is the third stage. It is called ragaha, as I said, kamaha also. And some of these desires are acquired from the purva janma, vasana janya kamaha. Some of them are acquired in this janma by looking at what? Neighbors, various commercials, advertisements all over. Everything is converted into an object of desire through these advertisements. And these people are so clever that many of these advertisements target the kids. Because in today's family, kids are the most powerful force when it comes to making choice of desired objects. We have seen, experienced it in our own families. So this is the third comparison. So avidya to ahankara hai to kama hai. 3 stages we have completed. Then number 4, karma to ambuhu. Karma, action, is a natural consequence of desire. Kama hai or raga hai. Desires lead to actions for fulfilling the desires. Karma means an effort or a struggle to fulfill the desires. If they are healthy desires, it will fructify into moksha. What is a healthy desire? I want essentially the essential worldly resources and worldly relationships for acquiring the qualifications for moksha. I desire money and family for performing karma yoga. I desire karma yoga for gaining qualification. After that, I desire jnana yoga for self-knowledge. These are all called healthy desires or right desires. Therefore, we must understand desire by itself is not evil. The problem is the misplaced desire. When I seek to fulfill my desires only through money, it is an unhealthy desire. When I seek fulfillment only through family life, it is a misplaced desire. But if I seek purification, not fulfillment, mind you, purification through money and family, it's a right desire. Because if I seek fulfillment through worldly desire, it is going to be a disappointment. Desires will keep multiplying, lead to more and more karma, endless activities, plans, programs, projects, expansions, etc. Life will become faster and faster. Stress will become deeper and deeper. As somebody said, initially, a person squanders his health in search of wealth, then he squanders wealth in search of health. And eventually he loses both because of endless karma. That's why perhaps Swami Paramathananda says that the word karma is used. It is equivalent to the English comma, no full stop. Therefore, one action, the next action goes on and on and on. And this karma is ambu. Ambu means water. So karma is watering the samsara tree. Karma will produce punya papam. So much punya papam that I cannot exhaust it in one janma. Therefore, I have to carry forward some punya papam for future janmas. And because of my karma and punya papam, I make sure that I have the next series of janmas. Therefore, that watering is nothing but karma, regularly watering the samsara tree with all kinds of materialistic activities. That's why karma is compared to ambu, water, watering the samsara tree. Then the next is Skandaha Vapuhu. Vapuhu means what? The body. It is compared to Skandaha, the main trunk, the central trunk of the samsara tree. Some trees are there, they grow into some 300 feet and all that solid trunk they have. So Vapuhu, the solid body, a well-built body, 100 or 120 kilos body, is the trunk of the samsara tree. This is the comparison number 5. Then 6th is Asavaha Shakikaha. Shakikaha means branches, shakaha, of the tree. And here it refers to the limbs, which are compared to the branches. So from the main trunk, so many main and supplementary branches originate, making the tree a very vast tree. And here for the human body, what are the branches? What are the shakaha? He says asavaha. Asuhu means prana, prana shakti, which is flowing throughout the body through several nadis. There are big nadis, medium nadis, minute nadis, even very, very tiny micro nadis. Nadis are like blood vessels through which prana shakti flows. These nadis are mind boggling in number. Somewhere it's 72 crores or something like that. And these nadis are all over the body and they are being compared to the branches. Of course, in the tree, the branches grow out of the trunk. In the body, however, the branches are within the body itself, belonging to the Sukshma Shariram. Once the branches are cut, the tree cannot survive. Similarly, once the prana is removed, the body cannot survive. Therefore, branches and trunks are always together for survival. Similarly, body and prana exist together. So, Asuhu Shakikaha. This is number 6. Then the 7th, Agrani Indriya Samhati. Agrani means the end portion of the branches, if you have seen. Outer part of the tip of the branches, which are exposed to the atmosphere. The inside parts are not visible. Agrani, the peripheral parts of the branches, which are exposed to the sunlight, which alone is responsible for producing the food for the tree. As we have studied in school, etc., they absorb sunlight, some photosynthesis process and all takes place. And this process is very important for the survival of the plant. So in the case of a jiva, a living being, what are the peripheral parts of the branches? He says Indriya Samhati, the 10 sense organs, especially the 5 Jnanendriyani. Because they are all in the periphery of the body and thus are exposed to the external universe. Indriya Sammati means the group of sense organs. And only because they are exposed and outward driven, they come in contact with the sense objects, and because of that alone, Raga Dvesha comes, Kama Krodha comes. Everything else follows. Therefore, the outer branches are very, very important. Sense organs perpetuate our desire, our karma. Therefore, Agrani, peripheral part of the human tree are the groups of sense organs. So we have seen the seed, the sprout, the tender leaves, watering, the trunk, branches, and sense organs, which are the tips of the branches. What about flowers? Flowers are connected to the periphery of the tree. And there is a natural purpose. Then only the flowers can attract the bees. So they are in contact with the agrani, the peripheral branches of the tree. Similarly, the sense organs, which are like peripheral branches, are in contact with the flowers. And what are the flowers here? The sense objects. Therefore, he says, Vishayaha Pushpani. Even though we think Vishayaha are outside, Here the comparison is Agrani and Pushpani are contacting each other, which means the sense organs and sense objects, they are in constant contact. And therefore the sense objects are compared to the flowers. Flowers are attractive. Sense objects are also attractive. That is why we develop a raga for them, isn't it? I think in the last class or the one before, I don't remember, I said every object in the world is called padartha. But the moment I develop either raga or dvesha towards a padartha, that innocent objects become vishaya. So an object by itself will not bind me. But the moment I develop like or dislike towards the object becomes empowered. It becomes empowered to agitate my mind. I develop a raga or dvesha. It is empowered to whip up the mind, to whip up emotional turmoil, and then go in search of this or that. Therefore, attractive sense objects are the attractive flowers of the samsara tree. So, pushpani vishayaha. This is the eighth comparison. Then the ninth one, dukkham phalam. After the flower, the fruit has to come, which will be either delicious or sour. Two types of fruits in the form of sukham and dukkham, pleasure and pain, happiness and unhappiness. Samsara gives both pleasure and pain, dukkham phalam. Here Adi Shankara emphasizes dukkham because that is predominant. We are helpless before it. So generally dukkham and occasionally sukham. As somebody defined, what is happiness? Happiness is the gap between two sets of unhappiness, two sets of dukkha. And that is why even when we are happy, we often worry. We are worried what dukkham may come next. Will this happiness last? And that's why, when on our family and all that, when somebody out of happiness laughs very loudly, people will say, don't laugh so loudly. Because you don't know what is in store next. The louder you laugh, the louder you may be required to cry. So therefore, dukkham is emphasized here. Dukkham phalam. And what type of dukkham it is, that is explained in the fourth line. Bahuvidam dukkham. Varieties of dukkham called tapatrayam. Pain caused by our own physical body, like varieties of diseases. As we grow old, they also increase. Even the brain degenerates, bringing varieties of problems. Memory loss happens. Body movement becomes slow. Eyes can't see properly. We are hard of hearing. So all these are called adhyatmikam. Tapatrayam is three types of tapas. Three types of sorrow you can call. Adhyatmikam, Adi Bhautikam, and Adi Daivikam. So this is Adhyatmikam. Then the pain caused by other living beings, including other human beings, animals, plants, etc., they all come under Adi Bhautikam. Even family worries and all will come under that only, Adi Bhautikam. Then Adi Daivikam, caused by the inner part of the universe, the elements, the Pancha Bhutani, except Akasha. Akasha doesn't cause any pain. The Bhumi Tattvam, the earth can create varieties of problems. In fact, all viruses, bacteria and all are all including corona, are all come under the Bhumi Tattva. Then Jala Tattvam, the water element. Apart from waterborne diseases, we face floods, tsunami, etc. Then Agni Tattvam, fire element, bushfire, volcanoes, etc. Vayu Tattvam, cyclones, typhoons, etc. Therefore, except Akasha, all the four elements cause varieties of problems and they will all come under the Adi Daivika. Thus, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika Tapatrayam are determined by our karma. Therefore, he says, Nana karma samudbhavam, caused by varieties of prarabdha karma earned in the past. So, the individual prarabdha will affect the individual. The samashti prarabdha, the total prarabdha, will affect the total. Family itself as a unit has got a prarabdha. Because this karma is so complicated, you have to go on imagining. A person on his own has got a prarabdha karma. When he gets married, the husband and wife combined prarabdha karma starts. When the family, is set up, there is a third set of prarabdha karmas, which is a combined family prarabdha karma. All these, this is how the karma, law of karma works. And not only at the family, at the village level, there is a mini samashti prarabdha. At the state or regional level, there is a bigger samashti prarabdha. Floods, droughts, earthquakes, tsunamis, etc. They all come, they are all bigger samashti prarabdhas. There is a plane crash and some 300, 400 people die. Samashti prarabdha. Thus, every state, every region has also got its own prarabdha. And that prarabdha can affect us if we happen to be there. Countries have got their prarabdha. Entire bhumi, the earth has got samashti prarabdha. So if we can go on extending this. So nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidham. Samudbhavam means born out of varieties of vyashti samashti karmas. Vyashti samashti prarabdhas. Samudbhavam bahuvidham. Both these words are adjectives to dukkham. That is the result of samsara vriksha. Then the last one. Atra bhokta jivaha khagaha. The fruits of the samsara tree are eaten by birds. The fruit itself doesn't enjoy pleasure or pain. Fruit gives pleasure or pain to the birds which eat them. So here the jiva is compared to a bird. Jivaha khagaha. Khagaha means a bird. A bird which is bhokta, experiencing bird. So every jiva or living being is like a bird, a bhokta, experiencer of the fruits of the tree, which experiences the pleasures and pains of samsara tree continuously. So this is samsara vriksha. So now coming to the question, how does samsara persist? We are regularly watering the tree through our punya papa karma. Like pedaling the cycle. We are pedaling the cycle of samsara continuously using the two pedals of punyam and papam and perpetuating the samsara and making sure that we are reborn. And because we have to exhaust, the jivas have to exhaust their punya papas, creation also comes again and again. In fact, Bhagavan doesn't decide to create the world. This we have to be very clear in our understanding. Bhagavan doesn't decide to create the world. Bhagavan is forced to create the world. He, being the cosmic judge, the maintainer of law of karma, he has to create the world. He has to be fair to all the jivas. He has to give body to the infinite jivas so that the jivas get an opportunity to end this cycle of samsara. Due to his compassion, he has to make sure that the jivas continuously get an opportunity. And for that, the life needs to be perpetuated, the life cycle needs to be perpetuated. Therefore, Ishvara is only a general cause of creation, samanya karanam. Whereas we, the jivas, are the specific cause for the varieties of creation. So, Ishvara srishtehe is samanya karanam, jiva srishtehe is vishesha karanam. So, this creation is a joint venture between Ishvara and the jiva. Our contribution, we must understand what is our contribution to this whole creation. Without the jiva's contribution, Bhagavan can never create the world. This is a secret we must understand. Of course, we say Bhagavan is omniscient, omnipotent, sarvashaktiman, etc. The secret is, if you ask Bhagavan, "Oh Lord, can you create even a blade of grass without contribution of we jiva?" Bhagavan will say no, because I require the contribution of Anadi Jiva to create this cosmos, create this universe. So beginningless or Anadi Jiva and Anadi Ishvara together contribute to the perpetuation of the universe, and this is called Pratishtha. So Bhokta Atra Asmin Sansare Jiva Khagaha. So in short, Bhokta Jiva Khagaha Bhavati. And this is the 10th and final comparison. And in fact, in Mundaka Upanishad, also, in this Khagaha comparison rather, is the simile is used. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parishasvajate tayoranya pippalam swadvatyan ashnannanyo abhichakashiti. There in the shloka explains the Ishvara bird. There are two birds sitting on a branch. Ishvara bird and Jiva bird. Ishvara bird gives the phalam and the Jiva bird consumes it. So that is the comparison, and that is why Adi Shankara has taken from Kathopanishad, from Mundaka and all, and he has presented this beautiful sloka comparing the Jiva to the Ishvara, comparing the samsara to a tree. And with this, 5 questions have been answered. Next question Acharya is taking up is, we have talked enough about Jiva, samsara, etc. How to get rid of it? Katham vimoksha. How can a Jiva get out of this samsara chakra in which he is helplessly caught? That is the question. And that is given in the 44th verse. We will read and stop, or we will read in the next class, already time. Okay. We'll read in the next class and then continue. Okay, I'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you very
Shri
much,
Guru-
Guruji.
Thank you.
Guruji,
Hari Om.
although
I have-
Hariji has put up his hand.
Yes.
Okay, you
Yeah.
Carry on.
Mm.
Hariji, you can.
Hari Om. Hari Om and happy Dasara to all.
Yes, same to all of you. Happy Navaratri, happy Dashera.
Guruji, you made a statement that Jiva is Anadi. That means Jiva doesn't have any beginning. Can you kindly elaborate that?
I can't because
How-
Shastra doesn't elaborate. It only says Jiva is Anadi. How can I tell what Shastra is not having?
No, when you say Brahman is Anadi, I am able to
How
intellectually
How-
understand it because it is
only Jiva also intellectually understand it is Anadi. That's all.
because in Jiva has got a death and birth and death. Is it not?
Jiva does not have birth and death. The body has got birth and death.
So how do you define Jiva? It is
Jiva is the Atma which is identifying itself with the body, mind, sense complex is called a Jiva. What we call
is there any
Bhava.
is there any difference between Jiva? How do we differentiate between Jiva, consciousness, and Brahman? If we take the three.
Consciousness and Brahman is one and the same thing.
Okay.
There are not three things. Jiva, consciousness, Brahman, there are no three things, only two things.
Okay.
Atma
Okay.
and Anatma.
Okay.
When you are identifying yourself with Anatma, you are called a Jiva.
Okay.
When you are identifying yourself with consciousness, you are called Atma.
Okay.
So both these Atma and Anatma are beginningless as Anadi. They're from beginningless times and we do not know. Shastra also says, I don't know from where all this has been going on. Because the problem is, in our culture, the entire process of creation is cyclical. So in a cycle, can you say which is the starting point of a circle? Can you say? You draw a circle and say this is the starting point. In a straight line, you can say this is the starting point. In a circle, can you point out a starting point? You cannot. So the whole creation is cyclical. So you cannot point out a starting point. So Shastra itself says, and from the point of view of Vedanta, Shastra asks one question. Why are you interested in this? To know from where Jiva began. It is irrelevant so far as you are concerned. You are asking all these questions because you are continuing after years and years of Vedanta study. You are still trying to identify yourself with the body, mind, sense complex. And such questions come up. And Shastra has been crying hoarse that you are not body, mind complex. You are the Atma, you are the consciousness. You don't pay any heed to that. And you are getting lost in all these irrelevant questions. This is what Shastra says. So we have to move away from these questions of what caused this, why did this happen, and when did this happen, and all irrelevant from the Vedanta point of view. How does it matter? The problem, if we understand this is the problem, We have to do what? What is the solution for the problem? Otherwise, it will become typically what we do in our house. If there is an issue, who did this? Why did it happen? What is the point in doing all this, post-mortem? The event has already happened. Find the solution. That is what you should do. So that is what we have to focus on. Instead of worrying about whether Jiva is Anadi or Ananta and all, the Jiva is Anadi. See, the difference between consciousness and Jiva or Brahman, Atma and Jiva is, Atma is Anadi, Ananta. Jiva is only Anadi, it is not Ananta. We can put an end to this Jiva. That is the difference between the two. You must understand that. Okay. Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling. That is why 99% people don't come to Vedanta. They will listen to 2 lectures and run away. Anyhow, that is what is the answer to the question. Okay. Yes, Narayanji, you wanted to ask something? Can't hear you.
I had muted. Now, when we discussed about the prarabdha, discuss at the village level, state level, etc. How about the country level? What is happening now in Israel, Palestine,
Country
Hamas,
level,
etc.?
there is a global level prarabdha also, which we saw in the manifestation of coronavirus. So this
True.
prarabdha, this law of karma is a very complicated. But we can understand it from, if we have a basic understanding of how it operates at various levels. And we, even though our own individual prarabdha may not have that problem, right? But if we are actually in the vicinity of a problematic prarabdha, problematic samashti prarabdha, we will also get sucked into that. And that is why, if you look at it, our scriptures always emphasize on values, on harmony in nature. Everybody, if they continue to live in harmony, taking care of everybody else without any enmity and things like that and all, the samashti prarabdha is automatically taken care of. Nobody does any adharmic karma. Means what? There won't be any papa in the old samashti also, in the totality also. So if there is no papa, then these kind of bad things will not happen in the samashti prarabdha.
No, see, I can understand at the individual level or even say at the village level. But at the country level, no. How is it the country's horoscope? I don't know. What do you?
No, there is no horoscope. Of course, countries' horoscopes are also people draw, but it's nothing questioning horoscope. What is a country? A country is a aggregation of individual jivas.
Correct.
The karmas of the individual jivas aggregate into the country's prarabdha. Right? And so when those jivas are born in that particular country, already that prarabdha is working and making them born in that particular place. So we have to just understand everything starts from individual only. Like they say, what is an ocean? Ocean is a aggregation of countless drops of water.
Correct.
Similarly, the samashti prarabdha, or for that matter at the village level, at the family level, all these things, they're all aggregation at various levels of the prarabdhas coming together.
Or is it the prarabdha of the head of the country?
Included in that. Not only.
Okay.
also part of it. Because the prarabdha
Okay.
of the head can change the country's prarabdha also to some extent. Like we have seen in our own country, what we were for till 2014, the prarabdha of the
True.
head is trying to change the whole country's outlook and things like that and all. We could have said earlier, it is our prarabdha that we were a non-entity in the global scene. Nobody bothered for us. Nobody respected us and all that. So the country's head prarabdha intervened. Today, we have a much better respect outside the world and we are proud.
Look at Russia and Ukraine going on for a year plus.
Yes.
Now this, what is happening?
Yeah. Now what is happening in the Middle East rather. So this
That's
is
what I'm saying,
all
Middle East.
effect of prarabdha only.
Prarabdha only.
All effect of this prarabdha karma. And because we don't know, it is, I mean, we crore or billions or trillions or karmas are coming together. They are interacting. And that is why all these things, I mean, if you want an explanation why this is happening, you will get the explanation only in the Shastras. Because any other way you explain, you will ask the next question, why did that happen? Why did that happen? The only thing, final explanation is, it is because of the past karmas of all these people. All these individual jivas aggregating at various levels produces a different set of combined prarabdhas. And then all these things happen.
Okay.
That's why I keep repeating, this law of karma is a very, very, very complicated process. I mean, just like that, I'll give you a very simple example for us to understand. You have got a field, right? A land, agricultural land. Now, you will sow some seeds there. Let us say some rice, paddy seeds. But will that the only thing will grow there? There will be weeds also which will grow. There will be some other things which you have not sown, they will also grow.
Absolutely.
Because those seeds are already there, but we cannot see them. But they will all grow. So similarly, in this entire universe, there are so many invisible seeds which are there in the form of jivas, which will all sprout. We are doing very good things, all proper things, punya karma and all something. Fine, very good. But you are in the same field or same land where all these things are also there. So their effect will affect you also.
Correct.
And this we
Guruji,
understand. Sorry.
no, you continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for understanding this, first of all, one has to be born in a place like India. That's why in the whole world, India is called a karma bhumi. It is here that whatever you sow, it will really, in a desert, if you sow a seed, it will not sprout. Go and sow a seed in Iceland, it will not sprout. So for the seed to sprout also, there needs to be certain conditions, environmental condition. The Shastras say that it is only in India, in the subcontinent, that conditions are existing.
Favorable.
That is why it's called karma bhumi. That's why they say that whatever karma you do outside India, it will not have any effect at all. Punya karma or papa karma, that's what they say. But then what we have to take is, we are not doing karma for the sake of its result. We are doing karma as a karma yoga for the sake of my chitta shuddhi. There are no boundaries and no frontiers. I can do it anywhere I want. I do all the right karmas for my chitta shuddhi. I will continue to do it. I am not looking for karma phalam in terms of punya papa, in terms of happiness and unhappiness. I am not looking for that. I am doing karma only for my chitta shuddhi, whether it is a prayer, whatever karma, or whether it is a
Whatever.
reaching out karma, whatever karma I do, I am doing it for my chitta shuddhi. So if you have that, then it doesn't matter. I can do the same karma in America and not worry about the results of that. This is the essential teaching of Vedanta. Yeah. Okay.
Guruji,
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Guruji, when we talk about samashti prarabdha or country or village or a society, we can also say, that say for example, there is a drought in my village. Then we have the whole village, they come and they do the yajna. It is not only I do the yajna, but the whole village comes. Or if my country is facing a war, then the whole country does
Yes.
do yajna or pray, maybe at different parts, but it is a combined. Can we say in many times it has happened after the yajna, we will see that there will be rain. Yeah. So can we interpret that it is the samashti prarabdha? That
It is samashti prarabdha only. Not it is. It is only samashti prarabdha whenever a large number of people, group of people get affected by the same phenomenon. It is a part of samashti prarabdha. When an individual is affected by something, it is individual vyashti prarabdha.
Even when we do that in the family as such, then it is, you were telling about husband and wife. This is for the whole family, that we do a
So
yajna.
from a vyashti, even husband and wife become samashti.
Yeah.
Effect.
I mean, it had never struck me, but when
and that
today
is the
when
reason in our culture, even though that was not the purpose, people are trying to match horoscopes. Before marriage, they match the horoscope. What do? They are trying to figure out whether there are good periods and bad periods, especially bad periods, which are going to come in common in the life of these couple, so that both of them have got bad period. Combined, it becomes totally difficult for them. So what the astrologers try to look for is a compensation. If the wife horoscope is indicating some bad period, they will check whether in the husband's horoscope that period can compensate for the bad period on the wife's horoscope. So some amount of compensatory relief is given rather. This is essentially what, even though horoscope, reading the horoscope is not meant for marriages, etc. There are only two occasions Shastra says horoscope should be read into. One is when the king goes out for a war. Then you read the horoscope, what is going to be the result, so the king can actually have a knowledge of what could be the likelihood of things, so he can plan for it. Second thing is when you are going to perform an yajna. Because those days, yajnas used to be performed over long periods of time, 6 months, 1 year, etc. So whoever is the yajamana of that yajna, he has to have a good health, because he has to continue that yajna for that entire period. Right? Otherwise, the yajna performance will be waste. So they used to see the yajamana's horoscope, whether what is his horoscope says about his health, about his life, etc. So according to Shastra, these are the only two occasions when the horoscope should be studied. Not for when you have lost a job, go to a Josian. When you are not getting married, go to a Josian. No, not. That's what they say. But then, of course, we are in Kali Yuga. People are very, very curious. It's a knowledge world. Everybody wants to know whether they can do anything about it or not. They want to know. So they rush to the Josya. and it gives an opportunity for other people also to make a livelihood.
See, extending this, even now what we are doing, say the current that you are teaching us, and we as students here, that there is a Jnana Yajna going on. So, and so many of us are participating. That also is a group yajna. No, this is in one way or other, it is going to have some positive impact
Samashti
wherever we are.
only. It's a reflection of Samashti Prarabdha.
I thank you very much, because it never struck me, though I have been attending the classes, but today it is a new revelation, that is new dimension of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hari Om, Hari Om. Sulekha ji.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Guruji, I don't have a question. I also would like to echo Hariji's comment.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Many of the questions that are asked during Satsanga are ones that, for me anyways, personally require even more contemplation, because the questions are so well asked and so well thought out, because they don't come necessarily from a point of this. I see it as not as a point of ignorance, but for as a point of wanting to better understand.
Yeah.
And yes, and I find that your responses so patiently said, with such clarity, with so much compassion for those of us that are also treading a path that has no pathway. So I just also would like to echo my namaskarams as others, and also echo my thanks as others have come before me. And I would like to offer my namaskarams to you as well, Guruji. It is a very, very beautiful lectures and talks that you give that require to me much, much more contemplation, and also much, much more chuddhi. But why else are we here is what I'd say. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Namaste.
Anji. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Srikanji.
Trying to comment on Hari's first question. First question was on Jiva. Can we say that Jiva is Sukshma Shariram and Karana Shariram with reflected consciousness, and the original consciousness is Brahman? That's how Paramatmanandaji tries to
So
differentiate.
Jiva's definition is the three Shariratrayam with borrowed consciousness, with the reflected consciousness is Jiva. That's what it is. That is the definition.
Thank you, Luigi. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
very nice. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you. So we'll close. Okay. Thank you.